Om Vakradanda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Yarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen that Veda is a pramanam for knowing oneself, knowing the reality of oneself is freedom, moksha. Therefore, for moksha purushartha, the only pramanam available is Vedanta. The vision of Vedanta is you are that what you are seeking all through your life. And the nature of you is completeness, adequacy, purnatvam. So, therefore, you are the one, you are free from all limitations. So, that which is free from all the limitation is Brahma, and that Brahma is you. That is the vision of the Veda. And this knowledge cannot be revealed by other pramanam, only by Shastra pramanam. This knowledge only releases a person from samsara. Therefore, this Purushartha is the Purushartha. Moksha Purushartha is a Purushartha which liberates, which frees the person from being a wanting person. Up to this we saw. Now, the next topic is two committed lifestyles, about which Bhagavan Krishna, we will see, we will talk about in the third chapter, two types of lifestyles, which are recommended by the Shastra for the pursuit of moksha. We will read. To gain this vision, what is a vision? The vision is Tat Tvam Asi, that the vision revealed by the Vedanta. That is the vision. To gain this vision, this knowledge, the Veda prescribes two committed lifestyles. In Sanskritam, it is called Nishtha. Nitaram Stitihi Nishtha, two committed lifestyles. One is a lifestyle of activity called Pravritti Margaha, and other a life of renunciation of activity, Nivritti Margaha. So one is Pravritti. Pravritti is activity. Nivritti is renunciation of activity. Shankaracharya introduces his Bhashya to the Bhagavad Gita with the exposition of this twofold dharma. That is, this two committed lifestyle is called dharma as it is revealed by the Veda. Here, dharma can be understood as a religious or as a spiritual pursuit. Twofold dharma. Here, dharma, the meaning of the word dharma is religious or spiritual pursuit is called dharma, not the dharma purushartha, what we discussed before. That's why we said in the beginning, dharma has got many meanings. So here it is to be understood as a spiritual pursuit. Therefore, twofold dharma, twofold nishtha, two committed lifestyles were presented by Bhagavan Krishna, or presented by the Veda. Bhagavan Krishna talks about in the third chapter, we will see then. The next paragraph, the Veda talks about action or activity, karma, meaning not only religious activities, but also those that we consider as secular. All activities, whether religious or secular, are considered to be dharma and thereby become duties. This is what is meant by the lifestyle of pravritti, whereas the lifestyle of nivritti is called renunciation, sannyasa. The lifestyle of pravritti is twofold: a pravritti for achieving security and pleasures here and in the hereafter. Here is igaloke, asmin loke, hereafter paraloke, after this life. So, for achieving security and pleasure, the pursuit of achieving security and pleasure. So, the lifestyle of pravritti, one type of pravritti is achieving, acquiring security and pleasure here and hereafter, and a pravritti for the purpose of one's own maturity. That is second type. So, two types of pravritti. Pravritti meaning action. The first type is for achieving the security and pleasure which are limited. So, achieving that here and for the year after. Whereas second one, pravritti, is for the purpose of one's maturity. And that we will see, that will be known by the name Karma Yoga. And that is meant for the purification of oneself, Antakarana Shuddhi, as we shall see later under the topic Karma Yoga. The same acts of prayers and other religious activities are done for both purposes. So whether it is of the first type or second type, the prayers and all the other religious activities, they are all done for both the purposes. There are therefore two types of people who follow the pravritti marga. Both the types follow the Veda, but one group does so for the purpose of gaining immediate pleasures and securities. They are called karmis. They do karma, they pursue arthakama. For what purpose? For gaining immediate securities and pleasures. This group also follows a Veda for the unseen results of good deeds to be converted into better forms of security or pleasure later, either here or in the hereafter. For gaining security and pleasure, to enjoy that either in this world itself or in the other world. The life after death, the world, the jiva goes after varna, hereafter, paraloka. The second group of people, they follow the Veda and engage in various actions for the sake of Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of mind, with moksha as their end in view. Therefore, they are called Karma Yogis. This is the difference between a Karmi and Karma Yogi. Both of them do pravritti, do action, but there is a difference in their action. There is a difference in their goal. One set of person, the first set of people, they do action for gaining the goals, artha and kama, where the second set of person, they do karma action with moksha as their end in view. So they are committed to moksha. They are karma yogis. They do karma for what purpose? For antakarana shuddhi. People belonging to both these groups accept the Veda as a means of knowledge, pramanam, and are called Vaidikas. They are known by the name Vaidika because they accept Veda as a pramanam and perform the karma which are ordained by the Veda. Therefore, they are called Vaidikas. Because they are Vaidikas, therefore they are referred to as believers, Astikas. Astika meaning they believe in the Shastram. As what? As Shastram as the Pramanam. Shastre Pramanya Buddhihi, Shraddha. So they have Shraddha in Shastra. That is, the Shraddha is what is called belief or faith. But it is not really the loosely translated word, belief or faith. It is something more than that. Accepting Shastram as a Pramana. That is Shraddha. So those who have that buddhi, that approach, that attitude towards the Veda, they are called Astikas. Believer and non-believer. In English, we use the words atheist and theist purely with reference to whether or not a person believes in God. It is not so in Vedika Dharma. This is to be noted. People have confusion with regard to this. They think atheists are those who do not believe in God, and theists are those who believe in God. But for Vedika, For Vedikas, for us, it is different. We don't say like this. Here one may believe in the Veda and not believe in a personal God at all. Such a person interprets the Veda in such a way that there is no such Ishvara, no creator at all. Thus, there can be a Vedika who accepts the Veda as a Pramana, who is an Astika, a believer who believes in the Veda but doesn't believe in God as a person. So, the commonly use the words atheist and theist. Atheist means those who do not believe in God. The one who doesn't believe in God is called atheist. The one who believes in God is called a theist. Whereas for us, it's slightly different. We have a different interpretation for the words astika and nastika, which is loosely translated as astika is loosely translated as theist, and nastika is loosely translated as atheist. So, yeah, astika could be, for us, astika is one who believes in Veda as a pramana. He accepts Veda as a pramana, but he doesn't believe in God as a person. He is called astika. Nastika is one who doesn't believe in Veda as a pramana. He is called Nastika. So the difference to be understood. For us, then Astika means someone who believes in the Veda as a pramana, and Nastika is one who doesn't believe in Veda as a pramana. Therefore, the loosely, commonly understood the meaning for the words Astika, meaning theist, and Nastika, meaning atheist, is we have to understand that from the standpoint of Vaidika Dharma, differently. Astika means the believer of Veda. Nastika means the one who doesn't believe in Veda. Even a Astika who believes in Veda, he need not believe in God. That person still is called Astika. He doesn't believe in God, but he believes in Veda. So it's called Astika, theist. Nastika is one who doesn't believe in Veda, but he may believe in God. He's called Nastika, atheist. Therefore, the word theist and atheist we don't use. It's got slightly different, not slightly, completely different connotation. Therefore, Astika and Nastika to be understood as we define. So, given this definition, there are many Nastikas, people who do not accept Veda as a pramana and who are religious. For instance, a follower of Buddha, although a Nastika, should not be dismissed as irreligious. Buddhists do not believe in Veda as a pramana, but they are religious. Such people are religious in their own way. However, in our view, a Buddhist is a Nastika based on our definition of Astika and Nastika. Similarly, a person who follows Mahavira, a Jain, is also a Nastika. The Sankhya philosopher, Kapila, and his followers, on the other hand, they are Astikas, Vedikas. They accept Veda as a pramana, but they do not accept Ishvara. One who follows the Vedic rituals, but one who doesn't accept an Ishvara is also an Astika. Ishvara is God. So he believes in Veda but doesn't believe in God. He is called Astika. He believes in Veda as a pramanam. He doesn't believe in God. He believes in Veda, that's all. You have to understand here. The one who believes in Veda, who accepts Veda as a pramanam, and whether he believes in God or not doesn't matter. Even if he believes in God, he is an Astika. He doesn't believe in God, he is an Astika. The point is whether he has belief, whether he accepts Veda as a pramanam. That is the point. So the one who has the acceptance, total acceptance of the Veda, accept Veda as the authority, as a pramanam, that person is an Astika. An Astika could be a believer of God or need not be a believer of God. He may accept Ishvara, he may not accept Ishvara. Similarly, Nastika is one who do not accept Veda as a pramanam, but he could be a believer or non-believer of God. That is what our definition of atheist and theist. Although Buddhists and Jains are Nastikas, they both believe in karma. They believe that there is an afterlife and that there is such a thing as nirvana, liberation, or moksha, which is gained after a number of births. That is their belief, and they have their own arguments to support it. When moksha is the end in view, the two committed lifestyles, Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga, must be properly understood. They are stated very clearly in the Vedas and are again presented in the Gita as well by Shankaracharya in his opening commentary. Allowing the means of knowledge to work. The next topic. Shastram has told that you are the solution for the problem. Problem is you, therefore you are the solution. Therefore, if I am the solution, I have no reason either to deny what Vedanta says or to prove that it is correct. Just as in our earlier example, the man had to open his eyes to prove that he could see, the self-validation. So too, the only proof that Vedanta is a means of knowledge is in allowing it to work. Allow Vedanta knowledge to function. Allow Vedanta to enter you. Without that, you cannot dismiss Vedanta. I should let the words do their magic on me. Words refers to a certain knowledge born of words. Words are not just words. They can reveal and thereby remove my ignorance. The words need not always give rise to indirect knowledge. There's something important to be understood here. They also can give direct knowledge. Generally, what we understand, the words give indirect knowledge. When the Veda talks about heaven, the knowledge is definitely indirect. Is it the direct knowledge? Swarga is not a direct knowledge. Swarga is, you don't see Swarga. You can see Swarga only after this life. Therefore, the knowledge is indirect. In fact, it is a belief. There is a description giving us some indirect knowledge about heaven, if indeed there is one. Every tradition has its own description of heaven, and we understand it from that description. The Veda then reveals itself by saying that it is beyond words and at the same time uses words to make you see the truth of yourself. Therefore, the self is not beyond words, the usual sense of the term. It is something entirely different, highly technical, as we will see, and may take some time to understand. When words are about an object away from myself, the knowledge is indirect. When words point out an object which are away from myself, then what the knowledge you have, that knowledge is indirect knowledge. And when they are about an object around myself, that is within the vicinity of yourself, you can see that the knowledge is direct. Suppose I hold up an orange and you know it is a fruit, but suppose you do not know what kind of fruit it is. Then I tell you it is an orange. Now you now know that it is an orange. Then you want to know how it tastes, and I tell you how it tastes. That is not enough. You have to taste it actually. You also have to taste some other oranges as well. Only then you come to know more or less all about an orange. When you smell an orange, peel it and eat it, not knowing that it is an orange, and I say this is an orange. The knowledge is direct knowledge, immediate knowledge. Now I ask, do you exist or not? I exist. I am, you say. Agam asmi. Then I ask, who are you? To this question, there are many answers, all of which reveal I am insecure. However, I say you are secure. This is not just a statement. I have a whole methodology of teaching. Prakriya. I take you through all the steps logically and then I say, therefore, you are secure. Is this knowledge, now you tell me whether it is immediate, direct, or mediate, indirect? It is immediate knowledge, direct knowledge. It is immediate knowledge, direct knowledge, like the orange. You peeled it and you ate it. Then what knowledge you have? Immediate knowledge. Like that, this knowledge about you is immediate knowledge, direct knowledge. Therefore, Vedanta is therefore a pramana, a means of knowledge, and you have no other way to proceed except to expose yourself to it, taking it as a means of knowledge. You need to understand exactly what Vedanta is saying. And if you don't understand, if you have questions, then you should make an effort to understand. Don't dismiss what Vedanta says. Make an effort to understand what Vedanta says, because Vedanta is a pramanam and it gives you the knowledge, direct knowledge, immediate knowledge. And what is the object of knowledge? It is you. If what Vedanta says is untenable, I should see how untenable it is and examine the untenability. Perhaps it is my understanding that is untenable. Untenable means not acceptable. And what is said is tenable. If that is the case, then I correct my understanding and keep on correcting it, thereby seeing what Vedanta has to say. Vedanta as a pramanam doesn't have any defects. Then where the defect lies, if I don't understand, the defect lies only in me. So I have to correct my understanding. I have to keep on correcting my understanding finally till the final understanding takes place and it matches with what Vedanta says. The Gita as a means of knowledge. So Vedanta, Upanishads are the means of knowledge. Now the Gita. How Gita to be considered could be considered as a means of knowledge. The Gita, of course, is not as voluminous as the Vedas, which contain all the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the original source book. The book is the word book is used in a loose way because Veda is not a book. If Upanishads, if a book containing the knowledge of the Upanishad, then the book is also called Upanishad. Therefore, we can call it as a book. So it is like a book called History of India. This is also Swamiji's example. This is the book is the name History of India. The book is not History of India. The subject matter of the book is History of India, but we say History of India. Is the book History of India? No. The book, subject matter of the book is History of India, but we call the book by the name History of India. Similarly, the knowledge contained in the Upanishad is called that knowledge is what we refer to. But that is in the form of the book. Therefore, we call it as Upanishad. The very meaning of the Upanishad, the meaning is knowledge. Upanishad, removal of ajnanam. That is knowledge, jnanam. Veda means knowledge. Upanishad, Nischaya jnanam. Upanishad, removal of ajnanam and therefore Nischaya jnanam bhavati. And that what it gives, that is called Upanishad. And the Upanishad is in the form of the book, the printed material. So therefore, it is called loosely as a book. So Upanishads are the original source book, which is understood with the help of books like the Gita. Since these books present the same material very cogently in an easily understood form. This is important again. What the Upanishads say, talk about the reality, about you, that is not presented in a very systematic way, in a cogent way. And that subject matter of the Veda is presented in a very systematic way, orderly way in the Gita. Therefore, since the subject matter of the Gita is same as that of the Upanishad, this is why Gita is referred to as the Gita Shastram. Veda is called Shastram. Shasanat Rayate iti Shastram. That protects you by teaching. Gita is also known by the name Shastram, Gita Shastram. Why? Because the subject matter is same. It also, by teaching, it protects you. By giving knowledge, it protects you from what? From samsara. Therefore, Gita Shastram, Moksha Shastram. There are 700 verses in the Gita contained in 18 chapters. The first chapter and the initial few verses of the second chapter providing the context. We have then the entire Gita Shastra in 17 chapters, wherein the twofold dharma of a committed lifestyle for moksha is unfolded. Nivritti Marga, Pravritti Marga. Because the Gita is a book that unfolds this dharma, it is looked upon as a pramana grantha. Even though the Upanishads are the pramana meaning not being of a given intellect, the Upanishads meaning the Vedas form the means of knowledge, but Gita also is looked upon as a pramana because it upholds and unfolds what the Vedas says. It presents, unfolds what the Veda says. Veda is otherwise called Shruti. Shruyate iti Shruti. Shrutihi. That which is heard is called Shruti. Who heard? Rishis heard. From whom? From the Lord. Therefore, it is called Shruti. Shruti is Trilinga. Therefore, Gita also is Trilinga. Otherwise, it will be Gitam, Bhagavad Gitam. Why it is Bhagavad Gita Strilinga? Because the Veda, that is Shruti, is Strilinga, therefore Gita, it is Strilinga. What the Shruti says alone is unfolded, is said in 700 verses in the Gita. Therefore, the subject matter of Gita is not different from that of the Shruti. Therefore, it is as the word Shruti is Strilinga, similarly the word Gita also in Strilinga. That is why it's called Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it would be Bhagavad Gitam, Napumsakalinga. If the Gita said anything not in keeping with the Shruti, it would definitely not be considered as a Pramana Grantha. Why Gita is looked upon or considered to be a Pramana Grantha? Because Gita presents, unfolds what the Shruti says. Therefore, it is also looked upon as a Pramana Grantha, and that is why it is one of the Grantha in Prasthanatrayam. The three basic or foundational texts, Prasthanatrayam, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and Brahma Sutra. So, Gita is one among them. The Gita is a Pramana Grantha. Gita is Moksha Shastram, like the Upanishads. Therefore, if what Gita says, if it is not keeping with the Shruti, then the Gita would not be studied, not Shankaracharya would have written a commentary on it. The Gita is accepted as a Pramana Grantha because of its affinity and fidelity to the Veda. Lord Krishna himself confirms in the Gita that what he is saying has already been said in the Veda. Furthermore, the Gita is presented by Vyasa, who is considered to be the editor of the Vedas. It's called the editor of the Vedas. He compiled the Vedas. The four Vedas, collectively referred to as the Veda, existed even before Vyasacharya. He was the one who grouped them properly so that a designated person in a given family could study one particular Veda and then hand it over to each succeeding generation. That is why he compiled. Because Vyasa knew the Vedas so well, he was considered to be all-knowing, Sarvajnaha, all-knowing. In the middle of vast, beautiful word tapestry of his epic Mahabharata, Vyasa presented the wisdom of the Vedas in the form of Gita. Where Gita is located in the middle of the Mahabharata. So, a beautiful presentation, Vedic teaching is there in the middle of the Mahabharata in the form of Gita. So Vyasacharya presented the Jnanam, the teaching of the Veda through Gita, and the Gita is located in the middle of the Mahabharatam. It shines in the midst of the much larger work like a pendant jewel. These 18 chapters are therefore considered to be an authentic Pramanam. The first argument for the Gita being a Pramana then is that it doesn't contradict what the Veda says. It doesn't contradict what the Veda says, number one. It expounds and illustrates what the source book says. The source book is Veda. So what Veda says, that alone is presented by the Gita also. The second argument is that it is presented by Vyasacharya, and he was the compiler of the Veda, and he alone wrote Gita also, Mahabharatam also, and inside the Mahabharatam, Gita is there. Therefore, he is the author. Thirdly, Vyasa presents Krishna as the avatara of the Lord. Therefore, Krishna is looked upon as an avatara, a particular form the Lord has assumed for achieving certain limited ends. Dharma samsthapanam, that is a limited end. If the concept of avatara is accepted, Krishna as an avatara is Lord Narayana, Ishvara himself. Therefore, when Krishna talks in the Gita, Ishvara, the Lord, is talking. What is said is a word of Bhagavan, Bhagavat Vachanam. And Bhagavan is telling us what the Veda says. This again makes the Gita a Pramana Grantha for the believers, for the Astikas. When Bhagavan himself is talking about what is said in the Vedas, what else do we want? Because the Gita is Bhagavat Vachana, the word of Bhagavan, it is a Pramana. Vedas are Bhagavat Vachana. What about Gita? Gita also is Bhagavat Vachanam. Therefore, it is a Pramanam only. So, Gita as a Pramanam is accepted. Who presented the Gita? Bhagavan Krishna. What is the meaning of the word Bhagavan? There is a shloka. given in Vishnu Purana. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasriyaha jnana vairagyayoschaiva shannam bhaga itirana. Bhagaha asya asti iti Bhagavan. The one who is called Bhaga is called Bhagavan. It is said in the Vishnu Purana. What is this Bhaga? The sixfold, the wealth, the virtues is called Bhaga. What are they? Aishwaryasya samagrasya, total and absolute Aishwarya, overlordship. And Virya, the power, wealth, Shriyaha, Yashas is fame, Jnana Vairagya, Jnanam is knowledge, Vairagya is dispassion. All these six are complete in complete measure in whom is called Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagaha, the one who has Bhaga is called Bhagavan. What is Bhaga? The sixfold wealth or virtues is called Bhaga. Aishwarya, Virya, Yashaha, Shriyaha, Jnanam, Vairagyam. So that's, it says here, Samuji, Bhagavan is the one who has Bhaga, the sixfold virtues in absolute measure, complete measure. These are all knowledge, that is Jnanam, total dispassion, Vairagyam, the capacity to create, sustain, and resolve, that is called Virya. Then absolute fame, Yashas, all glory belongs to Bhagavan, we say, that is Yashas. All wealth, Shri, and overlordship, Aishwarya. Therefore, the shloka, Aishwaryasya, overlordship. Samagrasya, Samagra means complete, in total measure. Virya, Virya is, he has got the power to create, sustain, that sustain and resolve. Yashas, the fame. Shriya is wealth. Jnanam, the knowledge. For the creation, knowledge is required. Is all knowledge, Sarvajnaha. Then, because he created, does he have attachment for the created? No. Completely dispassionate. Vairagyam iti. The one who has in this sixfold virtues in complete measure is called Bhagavan. To have all knowledge, jnana is to be free from all ignorance. So all knowledge means free from all ignorance. Thus the one who has all jnana doesn't require a mind, a perception or a means of knowledge with which to know. If you require a mind to know, there is always ignorance, because mind is limited. Therefore, if you require mind to know, then ignorance, it's a sign of ignorance. Thus, whoever is endowed with the mind in order to know cannot be Bhagavan. So the one who attempts to know with the mind being limited, therefore the person must be limited. Because the person is limited, the person cannot be Bhagavan. So therefore, Bhagavan has got what? Limitless mind. Limitless, the one who has the mind which is not limited. Limitless mind. It means what? He doesn't require the mind, because mind is limited. He is all knowledge. He knows everything. We will see later how it is possible to be one with Bhagavan. Bhaga, therefore, is Jnanam, all knowledge. That's why we say Bhaga, all knowledge. Unlike us, it doesn't require a means of knowledge to know. He knows. He just knows. Without mind, he knows. Whereas we need a mind to know. Total absolute dispassion is also called Bhaga. The one who has total absolute dispassion, Vairagya, has no longing, therefore no insecurity. He or she is full. Virya is absolute power or Shakti, meaning the capacity to create, to sustain, to resolve. The one who has this absolute power is called Almighty, all powerful. So Virya is Sarva Shaktiman. Vairagya is, it doesn't have security. Virya is Sarva Shaktiman. Then absolute fame, Yashas, means all fame, including your own or anyone else. All the vibhuti, all the glory belong to Bhagavan. Bhagavan's glory. My glory is Bhagavan's glory. Your glory is Bhagavan's glory. Then the glory of Bhagavan is my glory. This is also Bhaka. The one who is endowed with the ability to sing, for example, may gain some fame, a ray of glory. That fame belongs to whom? That fame belongs to the Lord, the one who has all fame. The Lord also has all wealth, all resources, Shri. Any wealth you may have really belongs to Bhagavan, the Lord, and you are only a trustee of whatever resources you happen to have. Finally, the one who is not caused, the one who is not ruled by anyone, I said anatha before. Nataha na vidyate yasya, the one who doesn't have master above him. Therefore, he doesn't have a ruler. He is the ruler, who is not subject to the laws of someone else, as the Bhaga, Aishwarya, overlordship, complete overlordship. That's why we say Samagra, the word is we use Samagra, complete overlordship, complete wealth, complete fame, complete dispassion, complete strength, everything complete in total measure. The one who has is called Bhagavan. We as individuals have to go by the laws of nature. We cannot go against them. Even an engineer who is responsible for planning, commissioning, and running a thermal plant cannot touch a live wire without facing the consequences. In other words, the engineer cannot behave as he or she likes merely because he or she caused the electricity to be generated. It was because of the laws alone that the engineer was able to generate electricity in the first place. So this is, he could be the creator. He could have invented, not creator. In fact, he invented. Because he's inventor, the electricity, what he generated, will not excuse him from causing the shock. So he doesn't have overlordship even with what he invented. The one who doesn't subject himself to the law or laws of another is a Lord. So that's the difference between the Jiva and the Bhagavan. Jiva, even though he could invent and create things, but he has to abide by the laws. Whereas Bhagavan is above laws. He is a creator of the law, or he is the law himself. Therefore, it is not subject to any laws. If the Lord is ruled by someone else, then that someone else becomes a Lord. Logically, if Bhagavan also has to obey the rules, then who formed the rules? Someone else that formed the rule, then that person becomes a Lord. And it is this Lord we are talking about. So, if at all someone is there, then that becomes Bhagavan, and that Bhagavan is what? He is called Bhagavan, and about him only we talk about. Therefore, the one who doesn't have anyone above him is called Bhagavan. It means it's ultimate. So therefore, he doesn't subject himself to the law or laws of another. He doesn't have someone ruling over him, above him. And therefore, he is not subject to any laws. These six absolute virtues then constitute Bhaga, and the one who has the sixfold Bhaga is called Bhagavan. It's a beautiful word. Now, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavataha Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the Lord's song. It is translated as Gita as song. As I told you, why it is Gita? Because what Gita reveals is same as that of what Shruti reveals. Shruti, Srilinga, therefore Gita also has made it to a Srilinga. It has a status of being a Shruti. Therefore, Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Iti. Now, there are many types of Gitas. There are varieties of Gitas. Even in Mahabharata itself, there are many Gitas. Among all the Gita, Bhagavad Gita is famous. There are variety of Gitas. The Anugita, Uttara Gita, Kama Gita, Pandava Gita, Hamsa Gita, Siddha Gita, Rama Gita, Uddhava Gita, Ganesha Gita, etc. But the most popular one is Bhagavad Gita. The title Bhagavad Gita means the song of the Lord, Gita of Bhagavan. It is considered a song because it is in the form of verse and therefore pleasing. It has only 2 meters, Anushtup and Trishtup, making the Gita easy to recite and remember. So the Gita is in the form of a shloka. The shloka has got only 2 meters, Chandas. One is Anushtup Chandas, other one is Trishtup Chandas. What is the example for that? The first shloka, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Samaveta Yutsavaha. Mamakav Pandavas Chaiva. Kimakurvata Sanjaya. It is Anushtup. It is Anushtup meter. What is Trishtup meter? For example, Karpanya doshopatas svabhavah pritchami tvam dharma sammudachetah yachreyasya nishchitam brugitanne Shishyastegam Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. That is Trishtup Chandas. Therefore, Gita verses can be found only in these 2 meters. Anushtup, Trishtup. In Anushtup Chandas meter, you can see a line can be divided into 2 quarters. So 2 lines will be there, therefore 4 quarters. And in each quarter, the number of words would be 8. So 8 plus 8, 16 letters, not words, 16 letters will be there in a line. The second line also will be having 16 lines. So the 16 word, not 16 letters, not 16 line. So the number of letters in each line is 16. So that is divided into 8. 8 is one quarter consists of 8 letters. That's why you are able to chant Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. You can count the number of letters. It will be 8. So the first quarter of the first line consists of 8 letters. Similarly, the second quarter consists of 8 letters. The second line, which can be divided into 2 quarters. The third quarter consists of eight letters, and the fourth quarter consists of 8 letters. Letters, not line. Okay. If I said by mistake line, please correct it. It is letter. Okay. Making the Gita easy to recite and remember. The Gita is also pleasing because it has a subject matter that is highly desirable to all. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti